How do you get miles per gallon to kilowatt hours per mile, right? Something big just happened in the auto world. Honda's CEO dropped a statement that left the entire EV industry stunned, not with a flashy new concept car but with a promise. People have big questions, and tonight there's some clarity in a new study comparing the costs of fueling an internal combustion engine and charging an electric vehicle. A threat, even according to insiders. This isn't marketing, it's a real shift. One that could upend everything we thought we knew about the future of cars. And if what's being said behind closed doors is true, the rules of the game are about to change. Big. What's going on in one of the world's most well-known manufacturers? Honda has just dropped a massive bombshell on the EV and auto industry in general, at a time when nearly every automaker is rushing to electrify. Honda's CEO made a statement that shook the industry to its core. Their new engine could make current EV tech obsolete. That's not hype. That's a direct quote, and the implications are huge. But before we break down exactly what this game-changing technology is, we need to understand the full picture. This announcement is the result of years of strategy, quiet development, and a very specific vision that Honda has held, even when the rest of the auto world was going in a different direction. So, let's back up for a second and look at the context that makes this reveal so disruptive and why nobody saw it coming. At the helm of Honda Motor Company stands Toshihiro Mibe, a seasoned engineer whose vision is to reshape Honda's path in the era of electrification and sustainable mobility. Toshihiro's association with Honda began in 1987, marking the start of a career deeply entrenched in research and development. Over the years he held various positions, culminating in his appointment as President and Representative Director of Honda R&D in 2019. His tenure there was characterized by a focus on powertrain development and a commitment to innovation, laying the groundwork for Honda's future in alternative propulsion technologies. In April 2021, Toshihiro succeeded Takahiro Hachigo as President and CEO of Honda Motor Limited. His appointment came at a critical juncture as the auto industry faced unprecedented shifts toward electrification and automation. Toshihiro's leadership signaled a renewed emphasis on innovation with a strategic focus on transitioning Honda into a mobility company that prioritizes environmental sustainability and advanced technology integration. Under Toshihiro's stewardship, Honda has articulated ambitious goals aimed at achieving carbon neutrality. The company plans to transition to 100% electric and fuel cell vehicle sales by 2040, with interim targets of 40% by 2030 and 80% by 2035 in major markets. This roadmap clearly showcases Honda's commitment to reducing its environmental footprint. Still, to realize its electrification objectives, Honda has pledged to invest approximately $40 billion over the next decade. These investments are earmarked for the development of 30 new electric vehicle models by 2030, with a production target of over 2 million units annually. Additionally, Honda is focusing on advancements in battery technology, including the development of next-generation lithium-ion, semi-solid-state and all-solid-state batteries. These innovations are crucial for enhancing vehicle performance, safety, and affordability. Toshihiro advocates for a diversified approach to energy utilization, recognizing that electrification may not be feasible in all sectors. Honda is exploring the use of hydrogen fuel cells and carbon-neutral fuels, particularly in areas where battery electric solutions are challenging, such as aviation. This multi-pathway strategy reflects a pragmatic understanding of the complexities involved in achieving comprehensive sustainability across various modes of transportation. Toshihiro's tenure is marked by a willingness to embrace external collaborations to accelerate technological development. Honda has engaged in partnerships with companies like General Motors to co-develop electric vehicles and battery technologies. General Motors and Honda are partnering up in North America to help develop future products. These alliances are instrumental in pooling resources and expertise to navigate the rapidly changing auto landscape. We are pleased to be in Detroit today to announce the latest step in our equal partnership with General Motors in 2024. Toshihiro's contributions to the auto industry were acknowledged with the Industry Leadership Award by the SAE Foundation. This accolade undoubtedly stresses his role in advancing mobility solutions and his commitment to fostering innovation and STEM education. They're learning the different subject knowledge which is important, but it's also the different types of inquiry skills that are important as well. But you see, Toshihiro's leadership is not only transforming Honda but also influencing broader industry trends towards sustainable and technologically advanced transportation. Once the line is fully operational, maybe next fall, we will be able to verify the technology and the production capability. Despite the ambitious plans, Honda faces challenges, including intense competition in the electric vehicle market and the need to adapt to rapidly evolving consumer preferences and regulatory environments. Toshihiro acknowledges these hurdles and emphasizes the importance of agility and continuous innovation to maintain competitiveness. Honda's strategy involves leveraging its existing strengths in hybrid technology while progressively expanding its electric vehicle offerings. Toshihiro's vision and strategic initiatives set the stage for Honda's evolution in the electrified era. However, a visionary leader's plans require robust execution and alignment across the organization. This leads us to examine how Honda, under his guidance, is positioning itself in the global electric vehicle race. Why have they been holding back? When you think of the frontrunners in the electric vehicle race, Honda might not be the first name that comes to mind, and that's not by accident. While brands like Tesla, Ford, and even legacy rival Toyota have pushed aggressively into the electric market, Honda has taken a slower, more calculated approach. They've made electric vehicle moves, but cautiously and often behind the scenes. As of 2025, Honda's all-electric vehicle lineup is still limited in North America. The most high-profile electric release is the Honda Prologue, a mid-size SUV developed in partnership with General Motors. The Prologue is an electric vehicle, and aerodynamics are even more important, especially for an SUV. The Prologue rides on GM's Ultium platform, the same one used for vehicles like the Cadillac Lyriq and Chevrolet Blazer EV. Honda designed all the exterior sheet metal, all the styling, that kind of stuff. I mean, it looks like a Honda, but it is the Chevy Blazer underneath it. It features a range of around 300 miles, a modern digital cockpit, and styling cues inspired by Honda's nugged design direction. The Prologue is important, but it's not part of a larger fleet. Honda doesn't have a wide array of electric vehicles on the market in the US or Europe. In fact, until recently, its only production electric vehicles were niche city cars like the Honda E, a small urban hatchback sold mainly in Europe and Japan. The Honda E received praise for design and innovation but was considered impractical due to its limited range and high price. Compare this to Tesla's full lineup, Ford's F-150 Lightning and Mustang Mach-E or Hyundai's Ioniq series, and it's clear Honda has not fully committed to electric vehicles in the way others have. But this isn't due to a lack of resources. It's a reflection of Honda's wider, more cautious philosophy and a long-term vision that, instead of racing to build electric vehicle platforms from scratch, Honda has leaned heavily on strategic alliances to gain a foothold in the EV market without overcommitting early. The Honda-GM partnership is one of the most significant. Beyond just the Prologue, Honda and GM announced plans to co-develop affordable electric vehicles for global markets. These electric vehicles are expected to use the Ultium battery platform and aim for mass-market segments, including compact crossovers, arguably the most competitive segment in the automotive world. We're going to be number one mid-decade in electric vehicles in the United States. This partnership gives Honda a shortcut to EV technology and battery production while allowing GM to scale its Ultium investments more broadly. Then there's the Sony-Honda mobility venture, a bold move into both electrification and digital mobility. The result is a new brand called Afeela, with a sleek electric sedan scheduled to launch in 2026. The appearance of Afeela aims to make mobility a partner that grows, evolves, and continuously amazes people. What makes Afeela unique isn't just the electric drivetrain, it's the software. Sony brings AI, entertainment, and user interface expertise, while Honda handles engineering and production. Afeela's AI perception is to accurately recognize the surrounding environment. Afeela is designed not just to compete with Tesla, but to redefine what an EV experience looks like in the digital age, a smartphone on wheels. Some analysts say the fact that Honda is pursuing this path with Sony, not alone, speaks volumes about their strategy. Partner with specialists, reduce risk, and prepare slowly. Honda has always been ahead of the curve in hybrid technology. The original Honda Insight, launched in 1999, actually beat the Toyota Prius to market as the first mass-produced hybrid in America. While Toyota went on to dominate the hybrid space, Honda never left it behind. To this day, Honda relies heavily on its hybrid lineup to meet fuel economy and emissions goals. Vehicles like the CR-V Hybrid, Accord Hybrid, and Civic Hybrid remain cornerstones of the company's electrification roadmap. Unlike Toyota, which uses a more traditional hybrid electric setup, Honda's system, known as the two-motor hybrid system, is unique. It often uses the gas engine solely to generate electricity, with electric motors driving the wheels directly at lower speeds. This approach has allowed Honda to balance efficiency, performance, and affordability, but more importantly, it reflects a strategic belief: full electrification isn't the only answer. In many global markets, especially in Asia and parts of North America, EV charging infrastructure remains inadequate. For Honda, hybrids are not just a transition strategy, they're a practical alternative that consumers already understand. In late 2023, Honda announced its goal to double hybrid sales by 2030, especially in the US, where EV adoption is growing but not yet universal. In a world rushing to ditch combustion engines, Honda's hybrid commitment stands out, not by accident. Behind the scenes, Honda is making serious investments in battery development, not just buying tech off the shelf. The company plans to invest roughly $65 billion over the next 10 years toward electrification. One of the world's largest automakers is reportedly eyeing Canada to make a multi-billion-dollar investment to build electric vehicles, following other large manufacturers. A portion of that is earmarked for battery production, including solid-state battery development, a technology seen by many as the next major leap after lithium-ion. In North America, Honda is building a $4.4 billion battery plant in Ohio as part of a joint venture with LG Energy Solution. Together, Honda and LG Energy Solution will invest $4.4 billion right here in Ohio. This facility is expected to begin production in 2025 and will support EV production across the continent. The proximity to Honda's long-established manufacturing base in Marysville, Ohio, gives the company a strategic advantage in logistics and workforce integration. Meanwhile, Honda continues research on semi-solid-state batteries, aiming to improve energy density, safety, and cost, three critical factors that could change the EV adoption curve. But despite these long-term investments, Honda isn't rushing battery EVs to market today. That's because they're still not convinced the market or the infrastructure is ready for mass adoption at the scale automakers hope. From Wall Street to global policymakers, Honda has faced increasing pressure to announce bold EV targets. Many investors want automakers to signal their commitment to electrification with flashy timelines and billion-dollar declarations. Our operations here will play a key role as a new EV hub, Honda said. As I have already mentioned, Honda has offered a far more measured roadmap. They've announced plans to go 100% electric and hydrogen-powered by 2040, with 40% of sales electric by 2030 and 80% by 2035. But those numbers trail the likes of Ford and GM, who've set more aggressive targets and have marketed them accordingly. This has caused some critics to call Honda behind the curve. Yet from Honda's perspective, it's a question of realism. They argue that charging infrastructure, battery raw material shortages, and regional market differences make a slower rollout not only smart but necessary. Internally, Honda has been clear they will not chase market share just to make headlines. They want to build EVs profitably, sustainably, and with minimal disruption to their long-standing global supply chains. All signs point to a strategy that's less about being first and more about being right. Honda's approach reflects a company that sees multiple paths to carbon neutrality: hybrids, hydrogen, and EVs. While others gamble everything on battery electrics, Honda is hedging and building tech for markets where BEVs might not be viable in the near term. This restraint may look like lagging, but Honda believes it's long-term leadership. It gives them time to improve battery tech, secure supply chains, and avoid the pitfalls of an oversaturated, underprepared EV market. But what if Honda wasn't behind, just playing a different game entirely? To understand that, we need to look at their long-term strategy in a different area. Most automakers gave up on hydrogen and hybrid propulsion, quietly betting on battery electrics. While most automakers have rushed to plant their flags in the battery electric future, Honda has moved differently, quietly, intentionally. In fact, the company's true bet has never been just about plugging in. It's been about powering forward in every sense of the word. Because while the rest of the industry doubled down on lithium-ion and range estimates, Honda was making progress in areas that, for years, were dismissed as dead ends, starting with hydrogen. Honda's commitment to hydrogen didn't start last year or even the last decade. It dates back over 20 years when the idea of a car powered by clean, compressed hydrogen seemed more like science fiction than reality. In 2002, Honda launched the FCX, one of the world's first government-certified fuel cell vehicles. It wasn't a concept car, it wasn't a lab test. It was real, it worked, and it was a glimpse of something bigger. That vehicle laid the foundation for something more ambitious, the FCX Clarity, released in 2008. It was sleek, silent, and ahead of its time. The Clarity was capable of driving over 240 miles on a full tank of hydrogen and refueling in under 5 minutes, unlike battery electric vehicles that need hours to recharge. This car promised the convenience of gasoline with zero tailpipe emissions. Thank you for watching. If you found this information valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Stay tuned for more in-depth content, and we'll see you in the next video.